Apple's fall iPhone event is happening in just a few short days, so here's everything that we expect to see announced at Apple's It's Glow Time iPhone event. The most obvious, new iPhones. Obviously, we're on the iPhone 16 this year, and it's wild to think that this is going to be the 16th iteration, but here we are, and this year we are all still expecting to see 4 phones, 2 standard iPhone 16 models in different sizes, and then 2 Pro models in different sizes. So let's start with the iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus, or what I'll call the standard iPhone 16. Apple plans to bring the action button to the iPhone 16. Last year it was on the Pro models only. This year it'll be on the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, so it won't be a Pro exclusive feature anymore, and will be available on all iPhone 16 models. The action button can be set to turn on a focus mode, activate a shortcut, or for me, I use it to open the camera. And there's so much more you can do, especially with iOS 18. It can do even more because you can also assign control center controls to that action button. And third-party developers can now make control center options. So the list should get pretty expansive in the coming months. Along with the action button, we're also expecting a brand new button, a capture button. And this is not only coming to the standard 16 models, but obviously it'll be across all 4 models this year, so you'll see it on the Pro and Pro Max. Now, the capture button will be used primarily for the camera, so images and video, and it will respond to pressure and touch for extra gesture support. So a light press will mimic autofocus, while a harder press will take the shot. Basically, a point-and-shoot camera or a DSLR. Very similar functionality. So if you're swiping left and right on the capture button, you'll actually zoom in and out, which is pretty cool. And there may also be an option for swapping between photo and video modes. On the back of the phone, the cameras will be shifted to a vertical alignment in order to shoot spatial videos for Apple Vision Pro. There will also be new colors for the iPhone 16 models, with rumors suggesting we'll see black, green, light pink, and blue, as well as white for a total of 5 color options. Apple is also rumored to be using the same color-infused back glass that it used for the 15, which I really love, but with a frosted effect for the glass that contrasts with the frame color, which is pretty cool looking. And these colors are not as pastel as what they, or at least they're not rumored to be as pastel as they were last year. So that blue and that green is like more of a turquoise and darker blue. So I'm pretty excited to see what these colors look like. The A18 chip will be in all the iPhone 16 models this year as well, which means the standard 16 and 16 Plus will support Apple Intelligence features that are coming in iOS 18. There could also be some iPhone-specific Apple Intelligence functionality that hasn't yet been announced for these 16 models. As for the Pros, we already mentioned the introduction of the capture button. Obviously, this phone will also get that A18 chip, as I said earlier, for the Apple Intelligence features that could be 16 and 16 Pro model specific. These Pro iPhones will also really have no major design changes, but they are going to increase in size, both in screen and form factor. So the display, it's getting bigger, and it's the first time we've seen an increase in display size since the iPhone 12. iPhone 16 Pro display will measure in at 6.3 inches, which is up from the 6.1 that we had in iPhone 15 Pro. And then the iPhone 16 Pro Max will have a 6.9 inch display, up from 6.7. The change is not super drastic, but it should be noticeable if you had a Pro model in the past and you're upgrading to that same Pro iPhone. As for cameras, we aren't expecting any major improvements or features for the main sensor, but Apple is planning a 48 megapixel ultra-wide lens that uses pixel binning down to 12 megapixels, but the end result is basically much better performance in low light for your wide-angle shots and your macro photos. The 5x telephoto lens that was limited to the 15 Pro Max will be coming to the 16 Pro, so both models will have that 120mm 5x optical zoom capability. And just like the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, we are expecting some updated colors, really just one updated color. So you'll still have the black, white, and natural titanium options, but this year's special color is some shade of gold. Some rumors have described it as a bronze. Some dummy leaks have suggested that it's more of a darker brown color than Apple's prior gold selections, but color is also so dependent on lighting that it's really hard to say for sure. I loved what I saw from the renders, didn't love the dummy units as much, but I'm looking forward to seeing it on September 9th and getting my hands on it to see which color I might actually go with. As for the watches, the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch is finally here, and the Series 10 was thought to be a major redesign, but over the months, those expectations have changed significantly. The Apple Watch is expected to be slimmer than prior versions. Apple is increasing the size as well. Rather than a 41mm and 45mm models, we're going to have 45 and 49mm options. Size could increase through a decrease in bezels and by making the casting itself a little bit larger. A 4mm jump will be a noticeable but not enormous size difference. As for any new features, well, rumors suggest that Apple is working on sleep apnea detection and blood pressure monitoring, but we've also had these rumors for years, and so it's not clear if those features are actually going to make its way into the Series 10. Sleep apnea may rely on blood oxygen monitoring, a feature that is currently disabled in the United States due to patent issues, while blood pressure monitoring may not be perfected as of yet. If you're wondering about the Apple Watch Ultra 3, that should be getting whatever chip upgrades and health features that are coming to the Series 10, but nothing drastic will change for the Ultra 3. And the Watch SE could have a little bit of a difference here with a new plastic material that could be targeted more towards kids. If it's a plastic watch, you kind of don't mind buying your kid a smartwatch of that caliber, and the price point could be lower. If it's like a $199 plastic smartwatch but still has a lot of the capabilities that we know and love with the Apple Watch, that could be a pretty huge hit. And lastly, we're also expecting new AirPods at the event. And I just did an entire video about this a couple of days ago, so you can check it out here in the upper right corner. But what we could see are new AirPods 4, 2 new models for that specifically. One with a bunch of updates to it, the H2 chip, a little bit more of a refined design. And then the other model will have ANC for the first time on AirPods that are non-Pro specific, and the case will have a speaker for Find My capabilities. And that's really it for the AirPods 4. There could be an update to the AirPods Max 2. We've been hearing that rumored for quite some time now, and if you're expecting something major, don't. Rumors have suggested that it's going to be something like a color refresh, some new colors, and then of course changing the Lightning port out in favor for USB-C. If you are looking forward to watching the event and you're wondering where you can do so, you can go on apple.com, you can go on the Apple TV app, or you can go ahead and watch it on YouTube. But MacRumors will have its MacRumors Live Twitter account updated, we'll have the live blog going, and of course I will be bringing you coverage from Apple Park, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss all of that. We'll go hands-on, and then when our units come, we'll be doing way more coverage. So again, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all next week when we have new iPhones, Apple Watches, and hopefully some new AirPods in hand.